Alrighty. Hello guys, it is Fate here, and today I'll be doing part 4 to What If Naruto Was Raised by Jiraiya and Tsunade. I'm going to be trying to speak a bit slower in my videos because I'm a very fast talker, and sometimes it can make me like slur on my words or whatever, which is not really good for What If quality. There's nothing much to say. I've been getting some really nice comments which I've been really liking, so yeah, let us get into it. Chapter 4: The Hyuga Affair. 3 years after the Kyuubi attack. It took them some time, but Jiraiya and Tsunade are now able to sort out their issues, and decided to give themselves a chance. Things were slow at first, just as Tsunade wanted, but they soon became comfortable with each other and their relationship moved way faster than anyone would have anticipated. And a year after they made their relationship official to Shizune and Naruto, they agreed to marry. For Shizune's sanity's sake, they also decided to limit active any activity remotely linked to sexual intercourse to their bedroom. The girl had an the girl had an innate talent for finding them doing it, if you could call that a talent. While Tsunade and Jiraiya wanted a small, intimate ceremony with their closest family members and friends, in the end it became a huge event due to how many people wanted to witness their union. After the wedding was over, there were two consecutive days of partying across all of Konoha, and it would have been more if Sarutobi didn't choose the Anbu to force everybody, especially other ninja, to return to their usual duties. Jiraiya and Tsunade, and, Jiraiya and Tsunade traveled to a village in the land of the hot springs, which used to be a ninja village like Konoha, but it failed due to the lack of quality of the ninjas trained there, and it was converted into a tourist resort, which was far more successful. That had been a week and a half ago. Naruto was elated, since today was the day their beloved. What? Naruto was elated, since today was the day their beloved parental figures would return from their trip. He had begged and cried to take for them to take him, cried to take him with them. What? He had begged and cried him with them. It took nearly 3 hours until they convinced him to stop begging. The moment the door opened, Naruto immediately bolted from the couch. Shizune had washed it 4 times since, quote, the incident, and dashed towards the door. Mom, Dad, you're back! Naruto cheered as he hugged Tsunade's legs. Well, I was going to ask you if you missed us, but I guess there's no need to. Tsunade chuckled as she bended down to hug Naruto. Welcome back, you two. How was your trip? Shizune asked. Couldn't have been better. The weather was perfect. The food was delicious. The service was pretty. The service pretty nice, but all of it paled in comparison to the wonderful company. Jiraiya said as he pulled Tsunade near him and kissed her. Ah, didn't you guys get enough fun time already? I don't need more mental scars. Shizune is right, Jiraiya. At least wait until tonight, Tsunade replied as she gently pushed Jiraiya back. I make no promises, Jiraiya said with one of his trademark perverted grins. What amazed me to most is how the place seems to be always summer. One day I'll find out why they why did they have a microclimate like that. You buy me a present? Naruto asked. It was your birthday not even 2 months ago. You already had presents, Tsunade said, hands on her hips. Naruto's eyes then watered and his mouth curved down. Tsunade sighed, rolled her eyes, and produced a wrapped box from under her jacket. There you go, brat. Naruto quickly snatched the box and unwrapped it, revealing it to be a set of toy shurikens and kunai made of plastic. Let me just make sure this is still working. Yep, the recording's going perfectly well. Yay, my first ninja stuff! Naruto cheered as he opened the box. We thought that maybe you could start training with the basics. You'll be enrolled in the academy in a couple of years after all, Jiraiya mentioned, ruffling Naruto's hair. Naruto didn't say anything. He simply took his present and rushed towards his room in order to enjoy his new toy. Boy, I wish everyone else could be so happy with so little, Jiraiya said as he saw his adoptive son disappearing upstairs. Then he turned his eyes to the young Kunoichi. So, did something interesting happen while we were out, Shizune? Actually, yes. I've been promoted to Special Jonin, the black-haired girl announced, even jumping in joy. Congratulations, you really deserved it, Jiraiya said, patting her on the back. Hell, she deserves to be an actual Jonin, Tsunade added, a bit upset. Tomorrow I'm going to have a talk with that old monkey and make sure that, please, and make sure that, please don't. I don't want everyone else to think that I got my promotion because of you. Besides, Hokage-sama said that if I keep working hard, I can be an actual jonin within the next year. That's awesome. Come on, we need to have dinner. Out to celebrate your promotion. Dry suggested. It's not necessary. Besides, aren't you tired from the trip back? Shouldn't you try to rest a bit first? Tsunade frowned. Seriously, Shizune, do I look that old? Isn't my transformation working properly? Okay, let's have dinner outside. I'll get Naruto ready while you two unpack. Shizune conceded as she walked upstairs. And show more enthusiasm, damn it. We are going to celebrate your promotion. The next day, Jiraiya was summoned by an Anbu to the Hokage's office. The white-haired Sannin already expected what his old mentor would ask, and he wouldn't like the answer. After waiting some minutes, the Anbu told the Toad Sage that he could enter the office. Hiruzen was already waiting for him. Welcome back, Jiraiya. Take a seat. So tell me, how was your honeymoon? Well, that definitely wasn't what he was expecting him to ask. It was good. We had a great time there. We might go there again in one of our anniversaries, Jiraiya replied. Good to know, though I'm glad at least two of my students have found happiness with each other. You'll probably already guess that this wasn't the reason I called you here. How's your investigation going? Yeah, that was more like it. That was more like it. Truth be told, I haven't found anything that might exonerate the Uchiha from the Kyuubi attack. What I did find, however, was that there's a group that has been gathering information about the tailed beasts. They call themselves Akatsuki. Jiraiya explained. That's something worrisome. What did you learn about this group? Nothing much, other than that they have recently formed a mercenary group. They managed to become well known in the past year due to their high rate of success and absurdly low prices. Many villages, both major and minor, are losing quite some customers to this group. Hiruzen frowned and crossed his hand under his chin. We'll have to keep this group under close watch. They have tried something like abducting a Jinchuriki from another village? From what I heard, no. That's good. We'll inform the other villages about our discoveries. Maybe this isn't anything. We can never be too cautious. I don't think they'll believe anything we might say, and think that we're trying to trick them, with the exception of Suna. Our relationship with the rest of the villagers, both major and minor, aren't exactly good, and Suna doesn't give me good vibes either. Actually, that might change soon. We're making preparatives to alliance with Kumogakure. Jiraiya couldn't help but open his eyes wide in shock. Are you serious? Jiraiya almost shouted as he leaned towards Sarutobi. Indeed I am. The Reikage sent a few days ago a small retinue, led by Kumo's head ninja. They want us to sign an alliance treaty. This doesn't smell good. Did you read the treaty? I did, and I found their terms to be reasonable. Neither me nor the council think there's a reason for me not to sign that treaty. I see. But you don't think I should sign it? Right, Jiraiya? Exactly. I mean, I can't give you a specific reason. It's more like a gut feeling. I mean, don't you find it a bit weird that rageaholic jackass that is Reikage would want an alliance with us all of a sudden? This smells fishy. I did think the same, Jiraiya. I'm sorry, my eyes hurt. They're really dry right now. I did think the same, Jiraiya. But if never learn to forget past transgressions and make an effort to create bonds with our former enemies, we'll never attain true peace. Maybe the Reikage finally saw reason. Besides, this can be beneficial for your word. Beneficial? For Naruto? Explain. I know that Kumogakure has two Jinchuriki. Both of them had tamed their tailed beasts, and can use their power without any risk. If it goes well, maybe in the future Kumogakure will share with us what kind of training they did in order to achieve such feat. I know that Minato would have wanted Naruto to use the power of the Kyuubi. If that wasn't the case, he would have used a different seal. If that's the case, I hope that I'm wrong. Naruto needs to be as strong as possible. and such training would prove invaluable. Besides, we will need other alliances besides Suna if this Akatsuki group is the threat you feared it is. And with Kumo and Suna on our side, maybe we can pressure Iwa and Kiri to join us. Can you imagine that, Jiraiya? Can you imagine that, Jiraiya? All five villages finally united? Toby looks visibly excited at the prospect, as if seeing the culm- culmination of the work of a lifetime. That's a It's a pretty good picture, Sensei. But with Kiri's ninja being more unhinged than ever, and how much Iwa hates us, it's unlikely. Unlikely doesn't mean impossible, my former student. Anybody would have said that to you. Marrying Tsunade was also unlikely. Yet look what happened. As long as there's a chance for something wonderful, we should fight. We should fight for it with all our strength, don't you think? I guess you're right. Keep up with the Akatsuki. I have a feeling that the mysterious attacker who unleashed the QB was part of the group. With enough luck, we might gather enough evidence to exonerate the Uchiha. Speaking of which, how are the Uchiha doing? Sarutobi's expression soured. Sadly, not good. There seems to be an information leak, and the Uchiha learned that they're being held suspect for the QB attack. And my Anbu are hearing rumors about the Uchihas being potential traitors among the population. As you can imagine, Fugaku-san was far from amused. This is not good. The Uchihas will grow restless, and that will only make them look more suspicious on Dondo's eyes. That's why your investigation is so important, Jiraiya. I decided to be lenient and let you enjoy some time alone with Tsunade, but now's the time to get back to work. We need information on the attack, and we need to get it as soon as possible, Sarutobi sternly said. The Akatsuki lead seems to be the best one. I'll continue with that. Good. You're dismissed. Now I have a treaty to sign. Let me plug in my laptop real quick. Unfortunately for the third, his hopes for peace would be cruelly crushed. The very same night the treaty was signed, a masked ninja attempted to kidnap Hiyashi Hyuga's 3-year-old daughter, Hinata. Hiyashi killed the man before he could even get out of the Hyuga compound. The kidnapper turned out to be Kumogakure's head ninja. Now it was obvious that the whole treaty was just a ruse to infiltrate a Kumo ninja on Konoha who would abduct a Hyuga. The Rikage's answer came quickly in form of a rather scathing letter demanding for the killer, Hiyashi Hyuga, to be extradited to Kumo to be judged for attacking a diplomat, while at the same time vehemently denying any kidnapping attempt on their part. Refusing the demands would result in war. There was an emergency meeting in the Hyuga compound. Besides the highest-ranking members within the clan hierarchy, such as Hiyashi Hyuga, head of the main family, his brother Hizashi, head of the branch family, and their father, a clan elder and a former head of the main family, there was also the Hokage, Jiraiya, Koharu, Homura, and Danzo. Our main priority is avoiding war with Kumo. We haven't yet recovered from the QB attack. We can't afford going to war so soon, especially not after a village that strong, the Hokage declared. We all read that letter. The only viable solution is for me to be handed to Kumogakure. It was me who killed the head ninja, so it should be me who shoulders the responsibility, Hiyashi declared solemnly. Hiyashi, don't. We can't let the Byakugan fall into those bastards' hands, the Hyuga elder said. I agree. If we hand the Byakugan to the enemy, we will give them a weapon to use against us. What guarantee we have that they won't declare war on us once they force you to produce enough Byakugan bearers? Dando asked. That's why we already have devised a solution. Hiyashi will go in your place, or Hizashi will go in your place. We shall execute him in front of the Reikage and hand the corpse to him. That way Kuma won't get the Byakugan and will avert the war, the elder said. Upon seeing Hiyashi's reaction, he added, Hizashi already agreed with the plan. Are you really thinking in surrender to their demand? So one of them... Sorry, I have a stuffy nose. Fuck that. Let me just... Anyways. Are you really thinking in surrender to their demands? So one of them commits a crime against one of our clans in our own village, and we are the ones who have to compensate them? What kind of message would we be sending to the rest of the villages? That we let everybody to trample over us with impunity? Kohari angrily shouted. I agree with the counselor Utatane. Konoha must never kneel before potential enemies, Dondo added. Sorry. I can't believe what I'm going to say, but I agree with Dondo, Jiraiya added. Dondo shot him a neutral look. This may set a dangerous precedent. When the other villages hear of this, we'll stop them from making unreasonable demands under the threat of war. But we can't afford going to war, Homura interceded. Even if we win, we'll be so weakened afterward that we'd be an easy prey for any of the minor villages. Actually, I believe that the Reikage's threat of war is just a bluff, Jiraiya stated. What makes you be so sure of that, Jiraiya-sama? Hiachi asked. We just killed one of their high-ranked ninjas on a diplomatic mission. That's a pretty valid excuse to wage a war, and at least one of the previous wars was waged over even less than that. If they really wanted war, the fourth ninja war would have already been declared. Do you have any ideas, Jiraiya? The Hokage asked. As a matter of fact, I do, Sensei. Let's reply their bluff with one of our own. I can't talk. I believe that since neither Tsunade nor I officially went back to active duty, they probably don't know we're back in Konoha. Let them know that two of the legendary Sanin are back in business, and see if he's so eager to wage war against us then. That's a dangerous gamble, Jiraiya. While you and your teammates built quite a reputation during the Second War, it isn't a guarantee that we might intimidate the Reikage. Guess that after living with Tsunade so much time after guess that after living with Tsunade so much time something of her rubbed off of me, Jiraiya said with a chuckle. Fortunately, my luck will be better than hers. Sorry, the grammar in this is like really bad. I like your plan, Jiraiya. It's good to see that after all the pacifist ideas Hiruzen surely filled your head with, you're capable of some ruthlessness, Danzo told him. Jiraiya raised an eyebrow, then shuddered. A compliment from Danzo. He never felt so dirty. Hokage-sama, what's your decision then? Homer asked. Sarutobi closed his eyes, then pondered his options for a few minutes. He finally reached a decision. We'll follow Jiraiya's plan. I'll send a letter to Reikage asking him to meet me on neutral ground. Once there, we'll attempt our bluff. The next week, the Hokage and a group composed of Jiraiya, Tsunade, Hiyashi Hyuga, and Shikaku Nara, Kakashi Hatake, and Shibi Aburame were heading towards the land of Hot Springs, which would serve as neutral ground where the meeting would take place. Several Chunin were carrying the corpse of the head ninja on a stretcher, as well as the other two Kumo ninja that came with them. Ugh, they don't have women my size when they make these goddamn flak jackets, Tsunade grumbled, trying to close her jacket over her massive rack, before finally giving up. If it was a man who did, I can guarantee he did. All men have women your size in mind at some point in their lives, Dry said with a perverted grin. Tsunade shot him a cold glare. Don't give me that look, I'm just stating facts. Both of them were wearing green flak jackets over a blue long-sleeved shirt, blue pants, and Konoha forehead protectors. I can't believe I let you make me agree to this. We had left the ship behind, Tsunade protested. Relax, Hime, Dry whispered as he placed a hand on her shoulder. We're going to fight, just instill some fear into their bones. This will be over before you realize it. He decided not to tell her that Sarutobi was wearing his battle armor under the Hokage warrant. Sarutobi also hoped that the meeting wouldn't end in a fight, but you could never be too cautious, especially with somebody so rage-prone as A. That better be right, Tsunade replied in a threatening tone. Hiyashi Byakugan located the Reikage and his entourage, who were already in the meeting point, a clearing between the forest and a river. Everybody instinctively checked on their weapons, even if they weren't meant to fight. After a few minutes of walking, everybody else saw them. He brought more people than us, Tsunade noted upon glancing at the group of Kumo ninjas. focus not on quantity, but quality. Do you see the man with the sunglasses and a scarf, and that blonde woman with a ponytail? Beside the Reikage, you should worry about those two the most. Let me guess, they're the cute Kumajin turkey? Correct. The Reikage brought the heavy hitters. I don't like it. Hey, so did we. Besides, this confirms my early theories. The Reikage wants to intimidate us as well. Now it all depends on who gets fear first, Sensei or Raikage. Sorry. Upon noticing the Hokage's group approaching, the Kumo ninja walked toward them. Both groups stopped at a safe distance from each other. So you finally came, Hokage, and you brought the murder with you. Good. Hand him to us, and we can get this over with already, the Raikage said, his voice dripping with impatience. Not so fast, Raikage Dono. Yes, we are aware of your terms and to settle this dispute. I discussed them with my counselors, and we decided to reject them. What? The Raikage roared. You realize this means war, right? I haven't finished yet. Now, you will hear my terms. Not only you will cease your demands, but you will apologize to Hiyashi's hand, the Uchiha clan head, for attempting to kidnap his daughter, right there and right now, as a gesture of goodwill. We will give you back the corpse of the head ninja of Kumo, so we can receive a proper burial, as well as two ninja who came with him. As you see, they received no harm during the time they were under custody. A looked vivid. He was releasing so much killing intent that the Konoha ninja instinctively reached for their weapons. The Hokage, however, remained impassile. Then the Raikage appeared to calm down and chuckled. I know what you're trying to do, Hokage. You got me there for a second, but I saw right through your trap. Still, God give you credit for your effort. Excuse me? Sarutobi tilted his head, genuinely puzzled. Tell me those two subordinates of yours to dispel the transformation. They are not the real Jiraiya and Tsunade. They're only embarrassing all of you. Sarutobi raised an eyebrow. I don't know what you're talking about. Those are the real Jiraiya and Tsunade. Oh, please. The guy posing as Jiraiya is putting some effort, but the Tsunade poser looks in her 20s, while she should look much older than that. Who are you calling old, you steroid monster? Tsunade bellowed as she tried to attack the Raikage. Fortunately, Jiraiya managed to restrain her. Calm down, Hime. Ignore him. He's not worth your time, Jiraiya whispered to Tsunade's ear. Well, if you believe that I'm bluffing, why don't you check their identities yourself? Hiruzen asked. I'm sorry, I just blurred on my words there. I see your bluff, Hokage, and I'll take it. Darui, come here, A shouted. A dark-skinned man with shaggy blonde hair that covered his left eye, looking no older than 18, who was carrying a rather large sword on his back, stepped forward. Yes, boss? Check if those two are the real Jiraiya and Tsunade, or if there are two people posing at them, as I suspect. Alright. The young man calmly said, and then walked towards Jiraiya. He placed his hand on the white-haired man's shoulder and sent a pulse of chakra through his body. Said pulse should have dispelled any transformation, as well as any genjutsu, in case Jiraiya was under one. Yet the Toad stage remained the same. Tari looked at the Raikage uncomfortably. Sorry boss, but this man isn't under any transformation jutsu. The Raikage was trembling with fury. Now the woman. Darui moved toward Tsunade and hesitated a bit before placing his hand on her shoulder. Besides shooting him a murderous glare, the blonde Sonya was projecting an immeasurable amount of killing intent, as if saying, "Go ahead, put a hand on me. I dare you." Still, Darui was a dutiful man and didn't let Tsunade's anger get in the way of following his boss's order. He repeated the process, and Tsunade started to change into a visibly older woman. Ha! I knew it! The Raikage yelled in triumph, but said triumph proved to be short-lived when Tsunade didn't change any further. She was still Tsunade, with only a few wrinkles. Well, are you happy now? Tsunade barked at... Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the tone could work. Tsunade barked at Darui, who jumped back, startled. Boss, this woman seems to be Tsunade as well, Darui said. Then he turned towards Tsunade again. Sorry for dispelling your beauty transformation, Tsunade-san. Tsunade just growled in return as she quickly reapplied the transformation. Darui quickly returned at his boss's side before the Sanin could lash out at him. Since when did those two rejoin Konoha? The Raikage shouted, his anger at an all-time high. 3 years ago, shortly after the Kyuubi attack, the village needed help, and they heeded to our call. In fact, they even married not so long ago and have an adoptive son, Hiruzen calmly replied. I even have pictures of him here. Want to see them? He looks so cute when he tried to ride our pet pig, Jiraiya mentioned. Jiraiya, please. Naruto always looks cute, Tsunade corrected. Anyways, now that the identities of my students are no longer an issue, can we go back to the matter at hand? He was an ass, not bothering to hide a smile. Gritting his teeth, the Raikage pondered his options. His flight to get to the Yakugan was falling apart, and he could not see any way to save it. His intimidation tactics weren't working, and it appeared that the Hokage has realized that the threats of war were just that, threats. Now if Kuma went to a war against Konoha, the Raikage was sure that they could win, but it could be a very costly win. Now that the two Sanin were back among Konoha's ranks, and he didn't have to start a war in the first place, as much as it pained him, there's no other way than to quit now. Alright, Hokage, I agree to your terms, the Raikage said, almost spitting those words. Hiruzen's smile widened. I'm glad you could see reason, Raikage Dono. Jashi-san, please step forward. The Hyuga clan head moved toward them. He had his chin up and his face was sporting a smile of superiority. Well, Raikage Dono, I'm waiting, the Hyuga said in an almost mocking tone. On my and the entirety of Kumogakure's behalf, I am sorry for the actions of my representative on your village. Please accept our apology. A looked as if he was in pain. Barry wondered why his boss and everybody else, for that matter, had such a hard time apologizing. After all, was really saying those short words really hard? Apologies accepted, Raikage Dono. I hope this incident never happened again. Well, now that everything's settled, we should head back to our respective villages and try to forget that this unfortunate incident has happened, Sarutobi said. Wait a minute, Jiraiya said as he moved toward the Kumo Ninja. It would be a shame if you guys went home empty-handed after getting here, so you can have this. Jiraiya handed Raikage a book. Icha Violence, the Raikage asked, puzzled as he glanced inside the book. All the other Konoha ninjas sweat dropped. That's right, the second installment of my successful series will hit the bookstores doors next month, but you can have a copy of the book, completely free, and signed by yours truly. Sorry, that was my mom texting me. What is this, smut? You pretend to appease me with this badly written porn? Raikage roared. Hey! The proper term is adult literature with erotic scenes. And as for poorly written, look what I do with your stupid book, the Raikage said as he angrily tossed the book into the ground. No! Time suddenly slowed for Jiraiya as his beloved book fell to the ground, and with enough force to shatter upon impact, but then a miracle happened, and a pair of dark-skinned hands caught the book before it could touch the ground. Yes, saved! B, what the hell are you doing? The one who saved Jiraiya's book was a ninja with the sunglasses and the scarf, one of the Jinchuriki. Come on, bro, don't be such a fool. This book you just threw is pretty cool. No. Now as Akuma's ninja turned to sweat drop. The Raikage, however, wasn't in the mood to get an argument with his brother. Well, if you like it so much, you can have it, the Raikage said as he turned toward the rest of the ninja. Everybody else, gather yourself. We're going back to the village. Jiraiya then walked towards the Raikage's brother. Nice to see that there are fans of my book outside of the Land of Fire, Jiraiya said as he stretched his hand. Name's Jiraiya, though you probably heard it already. Killer B is the name, and being awesome is my game, Killer B replied. Your book is sublime, but it misses some cool rhymes. That's nice. I'll keep it in mind for the next book. By the way, I wonder if I could ask you a favor, Jiraiya said. Killer B nodded. This was a risky move since it meant sharing sensitive information with the foreign village, but the chance was just too good to pass. Konoha has a Jinchuriki too. Do you think once he's old enough, you think you could train him in order to control his little beast? I'd love to, pal, but I don't know if I shall, because you see, my bro has to agree. I see. Well, anyways, I had to try. Enjoy the book then. Killer B couldn't be happier. Not only had he gotten an exclusive Icha book for free, weeks before it would be on sale, but the blonde Sonny didn't notice that he had been staring at her boobs during the whole ordeal. Thank Kami for whoever invented the sunglasses. Pervert. I don't blame him. I'm sorry, I just don't blame him. A few days later, the Hokage's group returned to Konoha, relieved that they had averted a war and they didn't have to surrender one of their bloodline limits to an enemy village. Sorry, I said I would speak. I said I would speak less fast, but clearly that's not happening. And despite his face remained as stoic as usual, Yashi Hyuga was the one who felt the most relieved. His brother was already waiting for him at the compound entrance. "Welcome back, brother. I believe the trip was successful," Yashi ventured to ask. "Indeed it was. Thanks to Jiraiya's plans and Hokage-sama's resolve, I believe we averted a potential disaster," Yashi replied. I'm, I'm glad to hear that. Come on, I'm sure Hikari-sama and Hinata-sama are dying to see you again." They walked through the front courtyard, when some young main house boys and girls were practicing the gentle fist under the watch of a clan elder. Hizashi, during the whole time I've been out, there has been something in my mind that I just couldn't shake off. Were you really willing to die in my place? You were willing to die in order to prevent a war? Or uh, you were you were willing to die too in order to prevent a war? Hizashi replied. "But it was me who killed that Kumo ninja, and it was me who Kumo wanted. Besides, you didn't answer my question," the older twin said. Yes, yes I was. But why? I thought you hated the main house. And I do. Make no mistake, but that doesn't mean I hate you. You're my brother, and I love you, main house or not. I'll be willing to die for you, just like how you'd die for Hikari or Hinata. Isn't that enough? Sorry. Um, I die for you too, branch house or not. I prefer if you wouldn't. I don't want to have your death on my conscience, Kizashi replied. Come on, let's stop talking about death. We averted a war. The Byakugan is safe and none of us had to die. Yeah, I guess you're right. Did something interesting happen while I was out of the village? At the same time, the Reikage and his ninja had also returned to the village, though their mood was considerably less cheerful, for obvious reasons. While A wasn't a man who indulged often in alcohol, right now he could use some sake, at least to forget the past few days. He remembered he still had a few bottles of sake the Lightning Lord gave to him as a gift for his appointment as Reikage. Opening the door to his office, he thought that there was a man already there. More precisely, the man who started all of this mess to begin with. A young man with saggy white hair, pale skin, and his eyes closed for some reason. Though maybe man was stretching it. He didn't look to be older than 16. "Back already, Reikage Dono?" The young man's lips formed into a half smile. "And I guess your contingency plan failed." The Reikage slammed the door closed and walked toward the intruder, trembling with fury. "What are you doing here?" "I wanted to check the progress of the mission, that's all. But even if you didn't say anything, I guess that it ended in failure. So you failed to capture the Byakugan princess and failed to produce me a pure Byakugan. Disappointing." The Rikage's face contorted in fury, and grabbed the man by his robe's collar. "Watch your mouth, brat, or you may find that rage is all but disappointing." "Is this how Kumo treats their clients?" the man replied, not losing his cool. Um, this is the way Kumo treats those who piss the Reikage. And look at me in the eyes when I talk to you. "I'm afraid I can't do that due to some impairments," the man said, opening his eyes, revealing two empty eye sockets. Even the Reikage was startled by such a horrible visage, and released the white-haired man on instinct. "Even if you fail the mission in every possible way, you can keep the payment if you wish. Let's hope I can find somebody who can actually help me in my endeavors." And with that, the man suddenly vanished, as if he was never there to begin with. Now I really need a drink. Later that night, Tsunade and Jiraiya were in their bed, on each other's arm, trying to sleep. The Slug Princess then started to giggle, which evolved into a laughing fit. "May I know what you find so funny all of a sudden, Hime?" Jiraiya asked. "It's just that I can't believe that you tried to promote your book by then," Tsunade said between laughs. "I mean, we were trying to stop war and you tried to sell them porn. It was so surreal." "It's not porn, it's adult literature with erotic scenes. How many times do I have to repeat that?" Jiraiya complained. "Besides, that Jinchuriki was a fan of my book, and I almost convinced him to train Naruto." Tsunade suddenly turned at Jiraiya and looked at him with her eyes wide open. "Really? Because if Naruto learned how to use the Kyuubi chakra then, unfortunately he has his hands tied. He needs the Reikage's permission first, and I doubt that touching will happen anytime soon. Though I do plan to train Naruto to use the QB chakra myself. Really? How do you know? How do you know how to do such a thing? Oh no, really? Do you know how to do such a thing? Yes, I've collected some scrolls about tailed beast and Jinchuriki, and have some hints that may be useful. I hope you can teach him. Naruto is going to need all the help we can bring him. Naruto will grow. Naruto will grow into a strong ninja, just like his parents. You'll see that when he grows up. They both kissed, and within minutes fell asleep. If if they only remained awake for a couple more minutes, they would have noticed the crystal on Tsunade's necklace started to grow with a dim teal light. Oh shit! Is Naruto going out of control? Oh damn, damn! Fuck that voice crack. I mean, oh damn, that was a very good chapter. I loved it. I was sick for a bit, so that's why I didn't upload. But I uploaded yesterday. Well, I uploaded. Well, right now is the day after. That episode was already pre-recorded. Sometimes I'm just too lazy to edit the videos. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Link to the fanfiction will be in the description, and yeah, link to fanfiction will be in the description. Music will also be in the description, and that is all. Goodbye.